Raleigh, the capital of North Carolina, has been making headlines and waves in the real estate world. But what exactly is causing this surge in popularity? Well, let's go ahead and find out. Now, if you're new to me and this YouTube channel, we talk about everything you need to know about Raleigh, North Carolina. So make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss out. But also, I am a licensed realtor here, so if you need any assistance with your relocation needs, just reach out. To kick things off, one of the things that I would say that has caused a surge in popularity within Raleigh, North Carolina is the quality of life. I mean, as you guys may know, if you don't already, I moved from Connecticut, and one of my biggest reasons of leaving Connecticut, it's too cold. I just don't want to be, I don't have to deal with snow. So of course it was warmer weather. But something that I learned when I got here was, man, how many outdoor activities there are. Trails, hikes, I mean, these things are everywhere. And of course, that plays a huge participant in being warmer 90% of the year. Then we can't forget, if you have kiddos, or even if you're looking to go to to college, right? You have 3 major schools all around, at least the RDU, the Triangle, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill area. And of course, if you want to go elsewhere, there are schools within the state in itself. But those are the 3 major schools. And we also cannot forget the quality of life when it comes to money. Taxes. I don't care where you are, especially if you're in the Northeast, you might want to reconsider when you're talking about taxes and looking in North Carolina specifically. But those are some of the things involved with the quality of life that I think played a factor, and why many people, or at least why it's been hitting the headlines and everyone now knows a little bit more about Raleigh, North Carolina than previously. And I can add one more thing to this is North Carolina has even been ranked as one of the best places to do business, or at least have a business in. So that is one of the things that is definitely going to add more fuel to the fire. Personally speaking, I believe that North Carolina being ranked as one of the best places to do business in has definitely played a factor. But I believe there's one more thing that I will discuss after talking about affordability. So let's talk about affordability. When we look at the big states like California, Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, maybe even Florida could be in the conversation now. You know, do you really get a big bang for your buck there? You know, that's one of the things I think North Carolina really stood out with and is currently offering, where you may be able to get more land, you may be able to get more home, and it's not going to cost you the same amount in those states that I've just mentioned. And I can even share a story with you guys of one that I heard recently. I was having a conversation with an individual who was looking at the New Jersey real estate market. And, you know, as conversation was going along, one of the questions I asked was, well, how big are these houses that you're looking at? And the person responded with, the house is about 1,200 square feet. And I chuckled, right? I was like, okay, well, you know, depending on the person's, what they're looking for, their lifestyle. And so then I followed up with, well, how much are those homes? And the individual gave me a 500,000 approximately, of course, right? So I immediately was like, there's no way that, you know, individuals are spending for a 1,200 square foot home, $500, which is like a half a ticket. Oh my goodness, $500,000 we're talking for not that large of a home. And I think that's where North Carolina's affordability, the bang for the buck, comes into play. So if you're an individual that doesn't want a 1,200 square foot home, in fact, you want a little bit bigger one, and you know you want to be able to spend a little less, you see that number that is popping up right there? Make sure to give me a call, shoot me a text, email, day or night, heck, maybe even on the weekends. Always remember one thing: I got your back in this market. As I mentioned earlier, I think there's one reason why Raleigh has become a hotspot, which directly impacts the real estate, which ultimately comes down to the economic growth. I mean, when we talk about the economic growth, as I mentioned earlier, one of the places to do business in, one of the top places to do business in, that is always going to play a factor, because this is what enables when new businesses are arriving in a state or a city, for whatever the case may be, you can only anticipate there to be growth as well, because new businesses means new jobs. New jobs means more people. People are going to follow the money at the end of the day, and they're going to follow wherever is the best bang for their buck. These businesses are going to follow wherever is the best bang for the buck to be able to grow their money, their business, whatever the case may be. And obviously, these businesses need people to work these positions. So wherever the businesses are, that's a cool trick that I've learned in real estate, is follow where the businesses are going. And that will determine for you the growth. And if you don't know, some of the industries that are really popping off in terms of growth here in the RDU, the Raleigh, the Triangle, whatever you want to call it, it's healthcare, pharmaceuticals, definitely. I said healthcare, yeah. Tech, That's another one. So those are some of the industries. Of course, there's more outside of that, but those are the three big ones that have really been honing into this area. And yet alone, right? Raleigh is seeing this growth now without the infamous Apple's campus, which I believe they're supposed to be either breaking the ground in 2026, 27. Don't quote me on that one, but all of this growth is happening beforehand, and that's not nearly half of the jobs and opportunities that Apple is going to bring into this area in itself. So when looking at Raleigh as a whole, I mean, let's look specifically at the real estate market. Median price point at this current point in time is around 400,000. So you can expect that with a very low supply, still not hitting those high levels. And, I think it's going to take a lot of new construction, which is already occurring in this area, to really get that supply a little bit higher, because we also have a high demand. As I've mentioned, jobs, those are going to play a direct impact on that in itself. So if you're really wondering why Raleigh is hitting every single headline possible and why do you keep seeing it over and over again, those are some of the reasons. And I hope this is enough information for you to understand what's really going on here without maybe even being here. That way you can make a better decision on if Raleigh will be a good fit for you and how do you really fit in. Because as we go ahead and wrap up the Raleigh's hotspot status of where everything is, it's clear that this is a city that's going to have a lot to offer in terms of residents and even investors. So whether you're looking to grow that portfolio, that real estate investment portfolio, or just looking for a place to call home, Raleigh may just be that destination for you. Now, if you have already moved to Raleigh, North Carolina, let us all know in the comments below, why has it been the best decision that you have made? Now, if you've moved and it wasn't the best decision, let's hear that as well in the comments below, because we want to hear both sides so that people can get a true understanding of what this area does have to offer. But just as much as I enjoy making these videos for you guys, my name is Roney Polynice, and I would love nothing more but the opportunity to be able to assist you with your relocation needs. So you see that number that is popping up right there? Make sure to give me a call, shoot me a text, email, day or night, heck, maybe even on the weekends. Always remember one thing: I got your back in this market.